Picture this. You wake up in the morning and your first thought is about deadlines, problems, endless tasks. Your heart beats faster, breathing quickens. Sound familiar? What if I told you there's ancient wisdom that has helped millions of people find peace amid chaos for 2,500 years? Today we'll dive into the amazing world of Buddhist philosophy and learn how it can become your reliable shield against stress. Stay until the end. I'll share 3 simple techniques that will change your attitude toward life's difficulties forever. Friends, stress has become an inseparable part of modern life. We live in an era of constant movement where every minute counts. The statistics are staggering. 77% of people regularly experience physical symptoms of stress. 73% experience psychological ones. We literally live in a state of chronic anxiety. But did you know that Buddha faced similar challenges 2,500 years ago? Of course, there were no smartphones and deadlines back then, but human suffering remained the same. Prince Siddhartha Gautama, who later became Buddha, lived in luxury. He had everything: wealth, power, family, but he felt inner anxiety, dissatisfaction. Sound familiar? Many of us have good jobs, families, but still experience stress and anxiety. Modern research confirms what Buddha understood intuitively. External circumstances affect happiness by only 10%. 90% depends on our inner state. Buddha discovered something revolutionary. The source of our suffering is not in the external world, but in our mind. This discovery formed the basis of the 4 Noble Truths, the foundation of Buddhist philosophy. Imagine a doctor who doesn't just treat symptoms, but finds the root of the disease. That's exactly what Buddha did with human suffering. The first truth states, life contains suffering. This isn't pessimism, but realism. Recognition that difficulties are a natural part of life. In Sanskrit, this is called dukkha. Dissatisfaction, suffering, stress. This is a universal human experience. Think of businessman Steve Jobs. He knew about the inevitability of obstacles in business. Instead of fighting this fact, he accepted it. Jobs said, "Innovation distinguishes a leader from a follower." He understood that obstacles are opportunities for growth. The second truth reveals the cause of suffering, our attachment and desires. We suffer because we cling to things, people, situations. In Buddhism, this is called tanha, thirst, greed, striving for what we don't have. When we expect everything to go according to plan and reality doesn't match expectations, stress arises. Psychologist Albert Ellis developed rational emotive therapy based on similar principles. He showed it's not events that upset us, but our beliefs about them. The third truth gives hope. Suffering can be stopped. This doesn't mean becoming an emotionless robot. It's about changing our attitude toward what's happening, finding inner peace amid external chaos. Buddhists call this state nirodha, the cessation of suffering, achieving inner peace. This doesn't mean bad things will stop happening. They simply lose power over your inner state. The fourth truth offers a concrete path, the Eightfold Path. This is a practical guide to achieving harmony. The Eightfold Path includes right understanding, intention, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and concentration. This isn't dogma, but a practical map for navigating life's challenges. But how do we apply this in real life? Let's examine specific techniques that will change your attitude toward stress. Technique 1, mindfulness. The first technique is mindfulness. This is the art of being fully present in the current moment. Instead of mentally rushing between past and future, we focus on what's happening here and now. Jon Kabat-Zinn, founder of mindfulness-based stress reduction, defines it as attention directed to the present moment without judgment. Research shows Just 10 minutes of mindfulness meditation daily reduces cortisol levels, the stress hormone, by 25%. Google implemented mindfulness programs for its employees. The result? 34% increase in productivity and 46% reduction in burnout. Try this right now. Focus on your breathing. Inhale, exhale. Feel how tension leaves your body. Don't try to control your breathing, just observe. This is the foundation of mindfulness. Technique 2, accepting impermanence, anicca. The second technique is accepting impermanence. Buddhism teaches everything in the world is changeable. Nothing lasts forever. In Buddhist philosophy, this is called anicca, one of 3 fundamental characteristics of existence. This simple truth can radically change your attitude towards stressful situations. Lost your job? It's temporary. Had a fight with a loved one? This too shall pass. David Bowie, the legendary musician, said, "I always had a philosophical approach to life. Bad times don't last forever." When Bowie faced a creative crisis in the 70s, he didn't despair. He understood. This is temporary. The result was his greatest albums. When we understand the temporariness of problems, they lose their power over us. Try this technique. When a stressful situation arises, tell yourself, "This too shall pass." Technique 3, self-compassion, karuna to oneself. The third technique is self-compassion. We often become our own worst critics. Buddhism teaches treating ourselves with the same kindness we show to close friends. Research by Dr. Kristin Neff showed people with high levels of self-compassion are 43% less prone to depression and 27% less to anxiety. Self-compassion includes 3 components: self-kindness, understanding the commonality of human experience, and mindfulness. Instead of self-flagellation for mistakes, try saying to yourself, "I'm human, and mistakes are part of the human experience." When Oprah Winfrey failed with her own television network, she didn't indulge in self-destruction. She treated herself with compassion and used the experience for growth. Technique 4, loving kindness meditation, metta. The fourth technique is loving kindness meditation. This is the practice of cultivating warm feelings toward all living beings. In Buddhism, this is called metta, unconditional friendliness. Start with yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. Then extend these wishes to loved ones. May my loved ones be happy. Continue with neutral people, neighbors, colleagues. Finally, include even those who evoke negative emotions in you. Scientific research confirms regular loving-kindness practice activates the parasympathetic nervous system responsible for relaxation. After just 7 weeks of practice, study participants showed a 23% increase in positive emotions. Technique 5, letting go of control. The fifth technique is letting go of control. We often stress because of the desire to control the uncontrollable. Buddhist wisdom states, we can only control our actions and reactions, but not the results. Ancient Greek Stoics shared similar views. Epictetus said, some things are within our control, others are not. Serena Williams, a world-class tennis player, applied this philosophy in sports. She focused on the process, not the result. I can't control how my opponent plays, but I can control how I play, she said. When we let go of the need for control, life becomes easier and more joyful. Try making 2 lists, what you can control and what you cannot. Focus only on the first. Technique 6, gratitude practice. The 6th technique is gratitude practice. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of appreciation for what we have. Gratitude isn't just a good habit, it's a neurological mood switch. Keeping a gratitude journal for just 5 minutes a day can significantly improve mood and reduce stress levels by 25%. Research shows People who practice gratitude sleep better, have stronger immune systems, and more satisfying relationships. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we learn to value the present. Oprah Winfrey has practiced gratitude for years and calls it one of the keys to her success and inner peace. Every day I write down 5 things I'm grateful for. It changed my life, she says. Technique 7, understanding interconnectedness. The 7th technique is understanding interconnectedness. Buddhism teaches everything in the world is connected. We are not isolated islands. This concept is called pratityasamutpada, a dependent origination. Realizing this helps you feel part of something greater, reduces feelings of loneliness and anxiety. When Steve Jobs faced cancer, he spoke about how illness helped him understand deep connections with people. Modern science confirms this ancient wisdom. Quantum physics shows the fundamental interconnectedness of all existence. Technique 8, practicing patience, Khanti. The 8th technique is practicing patience. In our world of instant results, patience has become rare. In Buddhism, patience is called Khanti, one of 6 perfections, paramitas. Buddhism teaches true changes take time. Like a tree grows slowly but becomes mighty. Patience isn't passive waiting, but active acceptance of the growth process. Jeff Bezos built Amazon for years, understanding that great achievements require patience and persistence. We are willing to be misunderstood for a long time, he said in the company's early years. Research shows people with high levels of patience have better relationships, higher self-esteem, and suffer less from depression. Technique 9, contemplating death, Maranasati. The 9th technique is contemplating death. This may seem grim, but it's actually liberating. In Buddhism, this is called Maranasati, mindfulness of death. Understanding life's finitude helps focus on what's truly important. Steve Jobs, in his famous Stanford speech, said, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." This doesn't mean becoming gloomy or depressive. On the contrary, it helps appreciate every moment. Research shows people who reflect on mortality make more meaningful choices and are less stressed by minor problems. Technique 10, developing wisdom through study. The 10th technique is developing wisdom through study. Reading Buddhist texts, mindfulness books expands understanding. Knowledge is power. The more we understand the nature of mind, the better we can work with it. The Dalai Lama, Tibet's spiritual leader, despite exile from his homeland, maintains inner peace through deep understanding of Buddhist philosophy. He spends 4 to 5 hours daily studying and meditating. The result? Equanimity in the face of any difficulties. Technique 11, creating rituals of peace. The 11th technique is creating rituals of peace. Include elements of Buddhist practice in your daily routine. Morning meditation, evening gratitude, mindful eating. Simple ways to integrate wisdom into life. Regularity is more important than duration. It's better to meditate 5 minutes every day than an hour once a week. Arianna Huffington, founder of Huffington Post, created a morning ritual including meditation and gratitude. This helped her overcome burnout and become more effective. Technique 12, working with emotions. The 12th technique is working with emotions. Buddhism doesn't call for suppressing feelings, but teaches observing them without judgment. Emotions are like clouds in the sky. They come and go. We can observe them without identifying with them. The technique is called RAIN. Recognize, allow, investigate, non-identification. When a strong emotion arises, don't fight it. Investigate. Where in the body is it felt? How does it change over time? Technique 13, practicing generosity, Dana. The 13th technique is practicing generosity. Giving is not only material but also spiritual. A smile, kind word, attention. In Buddhism, this is called dana, the first of 6 paramitas. Research shows acts of kindness increase serotonin levels in both giver and receiver. Just 5 minutes of helping others daily reduces stress levels and increases sense of self-worth. Bill Gates devoted the second half of his life to philanthropy. He says this brought him more satisfaction than building Microsoft. Technique 14, finding a teacher or community. The 14th technique is finding a teacher or community. The path of self-discovery is easier traveled in the company of like-minded people. In Buddhism, this is called Sangha, one of 3 jewels alongside Buddha and Dharma teaching. Join a meditation group, find a mentor, study Buddhism with others. Research shows people with community support cope 50% better with stress. Technique 15, integration into daily life. The 15th technique is integration into daily life. Buddhist wisdom isn't limited to the meditation cushion. Apply principles at work, in relationships, in difficult situations. Life becomes a practice of mindfulness. Mindful driving, attentive listening, patient parenting. All these are forms of Buddhist practice. Practical steps to begin. Now that you know all the techniques, how do you start practicing? Here's a simple plan. Week 1 to 2. Start with 5-minute morning mindfulness meditation. Week 3 to 4, add evening gratitude practice. Week 5 to 6, include loving kindness meditation. Week 7 to 8, begin working with accepting impermanence. Don't try to master everything at once. Buddhism teaches graduality. Remember, the goal isn't to become Buddhist, but to use eternal principles for the modern world. These techniques are time-tested and confirmed by modern science. They're available to everyone, regardless of faith or beliefs. Start small. Choose 1 or 2 techniques and practice them regularly. Gradually, you'll feel changes. Stress won't disappear completely. It's part of life. But your reaction to it can change radically. You'll gain inner fortress that will help overcome any life storms with dignity and wisdom. Imagine yourself after 6 months of regular practice, calm, balanced, able to meet any challenges with clear mind. This isn't fantasy. This is reality, available to anyone ready to take the first step. Scientific evidence of effectiveness. Let's talk about scientific evidence. The University of Wisconsin conducted a study of Tibetan monks' brains. The results amazed scientists. Monks had the highest level of gamma waves recorded in neuroscience history. Gamma waves are linked to awareness, compassion, and happiness. In ordinary people, they comprise 1% of brain activity. In monks, 25%. Harvard University studied meditation's effect on brain structure. Just 8 weeks of practice led to increased gray matter in areas responsible for learning and memory. Simultaneously, the amygdala, the center of fear and stress, decreased. Stanford University researched compassion meditation. Participants showed a 23% increase in altruistic behavior. These studies prove Buddhist practices physically change the brain for the better. Transformation stories. Let me tell you real stories of people who changed their lives using Buddhist principles. Maria, 34, manager at a large corporation, suffered from panic attacks and insomnia due to work stress. Started with simple, mindful breathing practice for 10 minutes each morning. After a month, panic attacks became less frequent. After 6 months, they disappeared completely. Alexei, 45, lost his job during a crisis, fell into depression, relationships with family deteriorated, began practicing acceptance and self-compassion, realized job loss isn't the end of the world, but a new opportunity, opened his own business, which now brings more income and satisfaction. Elena, 28, suffered from perfectionism and self-criticism. Every mistake became a source of week-long stress. Mastered loving-kindness meditation toward herself. Learned to treat herself like a best friend. Productivity increased. Relationships with colleagues improved. Inner confidence appeared. Myths about Buddhism and stress. Let's debunk popular myths about Buddhism. Myth 1. Buddhism is a religion not suitable for Christians or Muslims. Truth. Buddhist techniques are psychological tools available to everyone. Myth 2. You need to become a monk to practice Buddhism. Truth. Millions of ordinary people successfully integrate practices into daily life. Myth 3. Buddhism teaches passivity and submission. Truth. Buddhism develops inner strength and wise actions. Concluding thoughts. In conclusion, I want to emphasize the main point. Buddhist philosophy isn't escapism from reality, but deeper interaction with it. It doesn't promise an easy life, but gives tools for wise attitude toward difficulties. Each of us is capable of developing inner resilience and peace. You will gain inner fortress that will help overcome any life storms with dignity and wisdom. Friends, Buddhist philosophy isn't just ancient teaching, it's a practical tool for modern life. You've learned 15 powerful techniques that will help deal with stress and find inner peace. Start applying them today. If this video was helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. There's much more practical self-development advice ahead. Write in the comments which techniques seem most interesting to you. Remember, the path to inner harmony begins with one step. Take it right now.